And joining me now live from Princeton, New Jersey in the U.S. is Seyed Hossein Mousavian, a former Iranian nuclear negotiator and also a Middle East security and nuclear policy specialist at Princeton University. Thank you so much for joining us. Given your experience in these kinds of negotiations, what do you see as the key elements now of what the U.S. and Iran have agreed on so far?
I think the most important part is about the cessation of armed hostilities, respecting the sovereignty of each other, and accepting non-interference principle, interfering in internal affairs of each other. This is, I think, the most important part. Nevertheless, while they have started direct negotiations at the highest level ever after Revolution 1979, I think this is a big issue. We have never had such a direct negotiation at such a high level. And second, it is for the first time Iran has accepted to negotiate not only on the nuclear or any single issue. This is a negotiation about nuclear and the regional issues. I believe these 4 or 5 issues are extremely important. That's why in the first round of negotiations just yesterday, they agreed on opening Hormuz, lifting the sea blockade, waiving the sanctions on petrochemical and oil, and partial release of Iranian assets. I think these are very important points they have agreed yesterday, and the principles they have agreed during the negotiations for Memorandum of Understanding.
Sir, do you think that this represents a real opportunity now to radically change the relationship between the U.S. and Iran?
I believe this is really a golden opportunity because after 47 years, the U.S. now has experienced every coercive measures, sanctions, maximum pressure, isolation, cyber attacks, assassinations, military strike. They have experienced every coercion strategy they have been thinking and working and believing, and all have failed. Therefore, the best option now, they understand they cannot bring a regime collapse even through very strong military strike. I mean, the US and Israel, the 2 nuclear powers, they attacked twice Iran and they failed to bring Iran regime change in Iran, or collapsing or Iran, or disintegration of Iran, or controlling the Iranian oil reserve. I think both sides now, they understand this is time to go for not only negotiation, not only on nuclear, broader issues which mutually they have grievances or concerns.
Given what happened with the JCPOA deal, how much do you think that that actually added to the Iranian mistrust of the U.S.?
See, what we understand is that both parties, they have strong incentives to end decades of hostilities and military confrontation, because the recent military confrontation had enormous cost on not only US, Iran, Israel, and the region. But nevertheless, while Iranian public opinion, Iranian officials, they really are looking for ending war with the US and making a compromise, a sustainable deal, definitely there is a very high level of mistrust after the US left the JCPOA, because it was a deal agreed between Iran and the US, Iran and the world powers. It was adopted by United Nations Security Council. It was adopted by IAEA. Iran was in full compliance, and the US withdrew. Nevertheless, I mean, the time the US withdrew during the first period of President Obama, he was thinking maximum pressure, and perhaps in his second term, pushed by Israelis, he believed that even military strike can change the course in Iran. Now we understand neither maximum pressure is working nor military strike. That's why I hope this time the US would work for a sustainable deal in order to fill the gap of mistrust with Iran.
If you were a part of these negotiations happening in Switzerland, where would you put your focus now in order for there to be a deal in the end?
I think on the nuclear issue, definitely they need to have a deal, no doubt about it. For Iran, Iran should be flexible, cooperative, to give every objective guarantees assuring that Iran would never have nuclear weapon. I think Iran is ready because Iran is not after nuclear weapon. Nevertheless, on the other side, the U.S. also should be ready to respect the legitimate legal rights of Iran under non-proliferation treaty for peaceful nuclear technology, which includes enrichment. Other NPT members like Germany, like Brazil, like Argentina, like Japan, they all have enrichment, but peaceful enrichment. They don't have nuclear bomb. Therefore, respecting the rights under NPT, international law, and giving every assurance from the Iranian side on transparency measures, open nuclear program, no nuclear bomb, this would help to have a final deal on the nuclear. Nevertheless, even if they have an agreement on the nuclear, as long as they do not discuss the regional issues, they will never be able to have a sustainable deal. One part is a new situation or a new mechanism between Iran and the U.S. Arab allies in the region, specifically in the Persian Gulf, which they need to create a new security and cooperation structure, which would engulf all 8 countries around the Persian Gulf, a type of cooperation Europeans they have. And they should take care of the stability of the Persian Gulf and even the Strait of Hormuz collectively and regionally. This will be one part, but we know that Israel has been behind the 2 wars. Many American officials, they have repeatedly officially said this was not American war, right. This was Israeli war. That's why I think the US and Iran also, they need to agree that Iranians and Israelis would end decades of military security existential threat mutually. Yeah. I mean, the U.S. is in position to be a good mediator for ending the decades of existential security military threats mutually between Iran and the U.S. we have experienced during past decades.
So we're going to have to see where these negotiations lead us. That is Seyed Hossein Mousavian, a former Iranian nuclear negotiator and also a Middle East security and nuclear policy specialist at Princeton University. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.